Welcome back, everybody. It's been over a month since I've had an episode. Sorry about that. Things just got kind of crazy, and next thing you know, here we are. But I have some cool stuff to talk about today. I'm going to kind of wing it. I didn't have a lot of time to prepare for this, but I think that'll be okay. I don't think it's going to be a big issue with anyone. And if it is, too bad. It's my podcast. Just kidding. Just kidding. All right, let's go ahead and do it after the break. All right. So, I guess I would talk a little bit about, the post fourth quarter blues, because they have definitely hit. I mean, it's been slow going, for sure. The last, few weeks, I would say. That's just what it is. It's still okay. It's this, February I know is super slow time. I got some stuff I need to be listing, and I will. It's just, a lot of stuff going on. It's my daughter's senior year. Last night was the senior night for her swim team, and it's just I've got a lot of side things going on. So, yeah, and not to mention my obsession with mini disc now and the Atari Game Station Go, but we don't need to get into all that. But yeah, it has been a little bit slow going, and that's just not much else to say about it, to be honest with you. So let me go ahead and get on in here, and let's talk about some sales we've had, in the last, the last month, the last 4 weeks. So I will go ahead and do the bottom three profit ones real quick, and I'm kind of winging it too, so bear with me. But there's been some good news. There's been some good things that have happened, and I definitely don't regret much as far as making any money on some of these things. I'm going to go ahead and start off with the Hot Wheels Pullback Speeders diecast off-duty truck. So I bought a bunch of these pullbacks, and I got them at a local Party City before it shut down, and they had everything greatly reduced in price. So I grabbed these things. I want to say I didn't pay very much. I want to say, let me take a look here and just kind of see what we're looking at for that. It's got me all. It's got me all for. Let's see here. Let me just go back. All right, there we go. And then forward. So, darn it. Sorry about that, guys. All right, we'll go from here to here. All right. So, the pullbacks. Let's see. I want to see what I paid for those. It wasn't very much. Here we go. I paid $3.50 each for these things. And I got duplicates of some of them because I knew they sold better than others. But this thing sold for $18.99, and then they paid tax, $1.75. But transaction fees were $3.03. Shipping labels, $5.50. Left me with $10.47, and then you take away $3.50. So really about $7 is the max profit on these things. It's not great, but to be honest with you, if I sell all of these, and I have sold more since then, then it's pretty good profit. And sometimes that's kind of how you have to look at it. You might buy a large amount of something that's not too expensive, but your overall profit is still going to hit that $20 match. If I sell 3 of these, I've already, hit the $20 profit on these 3. I think I had 10, so it's only 5 of them. Or no, I'm sorry, it's only 12 of them. No. That's so wrong. Come on, Kyle, get it straight here. Um, let's see, if there's 7 each, then I have to sell 5 of them to pay for all of them. So it's really not a bad deal when you think about it that way. So, but that one, I mean, it's not a great sale, but hey, it is what it is. That's all the more there is to it. So there's that one. And again, I will put pictures of all these in there. So just bear with me on that. All right. Let's see. Moving on to the next thing. It might be this one. Yeah, it is. I sold a board game. Now, I bought a big group of board games. Actually, I bought 2 groups the same day, which is interesting. But those suckers sat around forever, man. A few of them sold here and there, but they didn't really start moving until within the last month or so. And this actually sold in the new year. So this sold on the 3rd of January. But it's Odyssey, Wrath of Poseidon by Ares Board Game Box Fair. Or Boxes Fair. Sorry, it wasn't in great condition, the box, but it is a complete game. So all the stuff inside looked great. It's just the box is a little beat up. This one didn't sell for quite as much. I think I had it for $30 or $29.99. I ended up selling for $26.99. And then you take out your transaction fees, 408, shipping label. And that's the thing on board games. They're kind of odd sizes. They can be kind of a big box. You got to remember that when you're looking at board games. You got to bump that price up a little bit more to cover that shipping because it's going to be a little higher. So $6.73. I think I shipped it over FedEx too, which I don't like to do, but sometimes they're just so much cheaper. Sometimes $3, $4, $5 cheaper. And then the ad fee for it was 87 cents. Walked away with $15.31. And I believe this stack of board games that day cost $10. So only $5.31 profit on that one. Not the best thing. But again, buying all those together, if I sell them all, like I think I've already paid for all those, if I remember correctly, off of 2 of the games that sold previous to this. So it's not the end of the world. It's just one of those things, and you have to be ready to do some kind of bulk buy action in order to make some of these things happen. But you know me, I want to make $20 if I can. So, all right, and then let me see what else I got here. I know there was one where I maybe even lost money on it, believe it or not, which is kind of crazy. But it happens. It happens. I mean, sometimes that's just the way the cookie crumbles. The other way you kind of got to look at that is, look, man, I've sold a bunch of stuff here, and stuff's still moving out the door, and that's great. So you kind of got to, sometimes you got to just, even taking it at a loss, if you've sold multiples of these things, sometimes it's good just to get rid of something also. And that's definitely how I felt on that, There's no two ways about it. All right, let's take a look at the lowest profit here. I'm trying to remember exactly which one that's going to be. It's not that. Sorry, guys. I like I told you, I just wasn't really well prepared. It's not that. Now, I can tell you one I definitely did take a loss on, but that's because the guy returned it, so not much you can do about that. Sometimes that stuff's going to happen as well, and you just got to deal with it, This particular guy was a major butthead. I will tell you guys that. He was not a very nice person, so dealing with him was not very pleasant. But, you got to deal with people like that sometimes. And finally, I just said, you know what, screw it, dude. You don't want the deal, throw it in the trash, and I'll just eat the money. And that's what I did, and refunded him his money. So sometimes you got to do that. You can't always make crazy profits on things. All right. I don't know what else there is, man, to be honest with you. Could be this one. Yeah, this one's not very good. I don't know, because I didn't cost very much. That NSYNC cassette tape. That didn't cost very much, so can't say much about that one. I don't know. It doesn't really matter, but I think there was something in there where I actually lost money on it. And, sometimes that's just going to happen, guys. You got to be prepared to have that happen and still be happy that the thing's just gone, okay? Because sometimes that's just how it goes. You're going to take a loss, but the point is you're moving stuff, okay? The more products you sell, the more people are happy, the higher ratings you got, the more products you sell. So just be smarter about what you're picking out. I know that's what we're going to be doing in the new year when we start sourcing again. We're not sourcing yet. Probably got enough stuff we can hold out until spring hits. And then we'll be looking at, doing some source action at that point. So, all right. But yeah, it's really slowed down. I mean, it seemingly overnight. Now, it's crazy because I did have a particularly good January 1st or New Year's Day, which is crazy, but I had a good day of sales that day. One of the higher days I've had since I've been doing this. So it's odd how it works, but it's just been really lax after around, something like the third or so. And then I think I went like 5 days without selling anything. And then same thing right now. I'm kind of in a lull at the moment. It's been about 5 days. So January and February can be kind of rough. I wish I was selling more. I'm not really trying really hard on it. I'm just making sure that I get people the products that they've bought as soon as I can and in great condition. And so far, that's just really worked out. So again, I am not doing this full time. This is a side gig, and we're just kind of getting this business started. So I'm not going to sweat it too much. There's just no point in it. So I'll just kind of let that go. So let's talk about the top things that have sold, okay, that we've made some serious profit on. I know there's a couple that really were pretty surprising, and these are recent buys too. So my daughter went with me, and she went sourcing with me one day. They're having a big sale, I think half off all electronics and media at this store we like to go to, and she went with me on this day, and I was finding some crazy stuff. But yeah, it's Brookstone wireless Bluetooth headphones, and they're the Ariana Grande cat ears. And these ones were black. I found these in that electronics department, and they were in great shape. I even plugged them in, everything, checked the lights on them, everything worked, because they do have LED lighting and stuff. They sounded great. These things are pretty expensive if you go out to buy them. I ended up selling these for $60. I bought them for like $6 something. So let me see here if I can get the exact numbers for you. But to go from paying $7.86 with tax and everything to selling them for $60, and then take out $6.40 for transaction fees, $7.67 for the shipping label because they are kind of heavy, and then the ad fees $1.93. Walked away with $43.99. So we made $35 on those. That's pretty solid, man. I'm more than happy to make $35 on a product like that. That really, I think I only had it up for sale pretty short amount of time. Yeah, I think I listed it. Yeah, I listed this on the 18th of December. They sold on January 1st, so not even 2 weeks, and those suckers sold. So I knew it was a good item when I saw it, and so that was pretty cool to have it move that fast. Let's see here. A real big one, a lot of profit on this one, because this is something that I've just had laying around. I was digging out some other things on some of the boxes down here in storage, and not stuff that I have for sale, just personal items. And I came across my Sega Saturn, which I love. That's one of my favorite game systems. And what I loved about it so much was I had a Marvel versus Street Fighter game from Japan on it, and we played the living crap out of that. But I did have some other games too, and I came across this Nights into Dreams Christmas version, and it's a little CD they gave out around Christmas time for this one year when that game was kind of coming out. And then I also found the disc for the original Nights into Dreams game, and I found the special controller that they made just for that game, because it was a game where you actually went along the Z-axis too, not just up and down and not just side to side, but you went into things. It was one of the first kind of like 3D games that worked that way. And so the controller was special for it. And so it was kind of cool to come across that and find it, because then I started looking it up, and holy crap, I ended up selling all three of those things together for $199.99. So $200. This is an item just laying around here. I put my purchase price at $15 and bought it back, 30 years ago, which is probably true. But yeah, I ended up selling for $200. So if I go and I take a look at this one real quick, because it's quite the pack. And the guy was so happy to get it too, by the way. Very, very excited to get that item. That's kind of the thing with video games though, right? Now this might be the highest profit item. I don't know. We'll have to see, guys. But I sold it for $199.99, $200. Transaction fees were $27.32 that eBay got for doing really nothing. $10.84 for the shipping label, $6.36 for the ad fee. Walked away with $155.47. So if in fact the $15 I have that I supposedly paid for this, which probably is correct, probably didn't even pay that much for it. We made almost $141 on this thing. Pretty crazy. And again, another item I listed it on the 17th of December. It sold on the 1st. That's why the 1st was such a big day for sales, for sure. But yeah, that was a really big item there. I was really excited to sell that one as well. I've also sold the rest of those big Hot Wheels stunt garage play sets. Thank goodness. One lady bought 2 of them, and those are still... No, she's gotten those. The kids are loving them. She said she got them for her nephews, I believe. But yeah, they're loving them, so that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool that she got something she wanted to give the kids, and that was exciting for them, and I got a good sale. So pretty awesome there. Let's see, on this one here... I think that Nights into Dreams is probably the biggest sale, guys. Sorry to kind of bust it up there. I might not do a full 5 on this because I'm just not prepared, and I apologize for that. Yeah, I'm sure that's the biggest sale. I did find also when I was at that sale, I did find this JBL Horizon Bluetooth clock radio. And it's one of the ones that has a light that kind of comes on to wake you up and everything. But JBL products have good sound, and people just know that in general. Purchased that thing for like $3.97 is all I paid for it. And it sold, surprisingly, let's see here if I can find it. And it sold quick also, by the way. I mean, a matter of days, I believe. Yeah. It sold for $54.99. I paid $4 for it. Take out sales tax, or so after sales tax brings it down to $54.99. $54.99. $8 transaction fee, shipping label for $10 because it's kind of heavy. So I walked away with $36.97, and then you just take, a simple $3.97 out of it. I mean, what a deal. What a deal. I mean, realistically, I paid $4 to make $33. And that's crazy. Now, the reason it even cost that much to ship was because it did go to New York City. So, when you're going to the far coasts like that, far north or far south, and you live in the Midwest, on the east or west coast, or even I've shipped stuff to Alaska. Puerto Rico, surprisingly, doesn't cost that much to ship to. But when you're shipping that far, it can cost you a lot to ship. So you got to be prepared to take that hit. Look at the high end of the shipping. If you're going to include shipping, look at the higher cost of shipping that it could be in the continental U.S. and add that to your price. Because if you don't, you're going to get stuck. And I've burnt myself on it more than once, even in this group of things, because some of these items have been around a while, and you know, that's just kind of how it goes. And that item, the JBL clock radio, listed it on the 1st of December, sold it on the 7th of December, which is crazy. So I probably already told you guys about that one. Sorry. Another one we were really happy to let go, and it's not a huge profit, but it's a pretty darn good profit here. We had these 2019 DC Lotus boa tie, so it's got the strap, the boa system where you just kind of turn the ratchet in the middle and it tightens up the laces. We found that deal at this Christian-based thrift store in a town nearby. Actually, it's a town where it has a college that my daughter's going to go to. Actually, we're going to visit tomorrow. So, yeah. But we paid up for these a little bit because they were brand new condition. They looked fantastic, and we knew they'd sell because we kind of looked up and saw what they were selling for and that they had been selling. But they did take a long time. I mean, they did take not quite 8 months, but not far. Almost 8 months. We bought them for $35. There was no tax because you're in Missouri for thrift and thrift stores. There's no taxes usually. I don't know. There may be down near St. Louis. That may be just a local tax, but around here there's not. But yeah, got these snowboarding boots, $35. Had them for sale for almost 8 months. They ended up selling. I think it was on an offer. I made an offer to someone to buy them, and I ended up selling them for $105, $104.99. Yeah, because I think they were. I want to say they were. Wow, I think I took like $15 off them, something like that. I'm pretty sure that's what it was. Yeah, because I think they were 120. Okay, transaction fees $14.47, ad fee $3.32, and this one's interesting. It's because they were heavy, but shipping on it was $14.54, and I knew it was going to be high shipping on those. So we walked away with $72.66. Then you take out the $35 that cost us. We still made like over $37.50. So again, if you're cool with it sitting around and you're not like in a giant hurry to sell it, you're going to be all right. You know, you just got to have an inventory area for it, I guess is what I would say. Another real cool one that I sold, and this is a little bit of sourcing on Facebook Marketplace type of situation. I saw this guy, I think I told you guys about this, but he had this lot of Dungeons & Dragons books and then some dice, too, that came with it, and a couple boxes for the dice. But he had it for sale on Facebook Marketplace for $10, man. And I kind of looked him up. I'm like, I think these are worth something. And so I went and got them from him, bought them for $10. I listed them in November, and they sold in the middle of December. So about a month. Sold them for $60. Paid $10 for them. Sold them for $60. If you go in and you take out the transaction fees, that's $8.72, and then the shipping label was $7.77. They are books, so they weigh a little bit, and they were just going really close here, actually, to me. So it's kind of surprising. If I'd have known it was this close, I would have just gone and dropped them off to this person because it's not very far. It's like less than 30 minutes away. But we walked away with $43.50. Take our $10 I spent off, we made $33.50 again. So another really good sale that's happened recently on these deals. And then one more big one, another Facebook Marketplace. Actually, both of these next two are Facebook Marketplace. But this one we didn't make quite as much as I might have liked to. I found this Ocean Digital Internet Radio. Beautiful item. Nice wood finish with a speaker, your typical kind of foam speaker grill in the front. But made an offer to this lady for $45 for it, and I was actually planning on keeping it because you can connect it to your Wi-Fi and you can play zillions of radio stations that are available online. And so I was like, man, this is really cool. And the funny thing is, I listed it, and it sold the next day. So I bought it for $45. I ended up selling it to this person for $139.99, so $140. Transaction fees were $14.70. The ad fee $4.59. It did cost a little to ship because it was going all the way to California, but $23.51 to ship it because I did get some extra insurance on it, I believe. And so we walked away with $97.19. Well, I paid $45 for it, so we still made like, $52 on this thing that I just had no use for, but thought it would be really cool. I kind of thought we would make do, but it was also pretty complex. I don't think my wife would have enjoyed using it, and that was kind of the idea behind it, was that we would keep it in the kitchen area for her to be able to use, but she just wasn't interested. Hey, that's okay, man. We made like $52 off of selling it. And I know the person who bought it, the guy who bought it in California, he was very excited to get it. And when he got it, he's like, oh my God, this thing's brand new. That's kind of how I felt when I went and bought it from that lady. So another great profit item. You just got to keep your eyes open on Facebook Marketplace because there's some really good stuff on there sometimes, and you can make some good money on it. If you just pay attention, just focus up, pay attention, and it's surprising sometimes what you can sell. So, and then let's see. Another one that I sold recently that it's not a huge profit, but it's one that I was pretty excited about. And I'm kind of just mixing these all up, so I'm sorry about that, guys. But this one was really interesting. I had been at a local Walmart here, and I found these packs, track builder packs for Hot Wheels. You know, the orange track for Hot Wheels. Well, these are packs that had multiple pieces in each pack, and I ended up picking them up at Walmart, I believe. Yeah, there was 10 of them. Yeah, I picked them up for $10 plus tax, so it's $10.85. Great deal. That was back in August, so I was kind of getting a little worried they weren't going to sell, but they did sell at the beginning of January there. And I ended up selling those suckers. $10.85 is what I paid for them. I ended up selling those suckers for $49.99, so $50 out of $10. So you take out $7.26 of transaction fees. There's also the ad fee for $1.62, and then the shipping label was a little more because again this went up to New York, so a little bit more expensive. But $9.66 for shipping. Walked away with $31.45, and again, only paid $10.85 for it. So we made over $20 on this deal. And again, just a simple keeping your eyes open and paying attention to what's around you and how much it's selling for. I remember buying those, and they're only $1 a pack, and each pack has, what was it? I'm trying to remember. I know I had 4 feet worth of track in each pack. So pretty great deal. Yeah, each one had 4 pieces. Yeah, each one was a foot long. So each one had 4 feet of track. Now, when I was a kid and I had Hot Wheels, man, I wanted as much track as possible for my Hot Wheels. And I know that's how people feel about it. So it was kind of a no-brainer when I saw them because I know I wasn't the only person that's ever felt that way. and I certainly was not. So that was pretty great. But yeah, that one was a nice sale as well. Yeah. All right, and I'm trying to think of anything else in here that's really such a great deal. All right, so the next one I've got here is this vintage Lucky Brand jeans that we bought way back around Labor Day. And they're kind of a special pair of Lucky Brand jeans, if I remember correctly. Yeah, they're Jean Montesano jeans. So vintage Lucky Brand by Jean Montesano jeans. my wife was really into the Lucky brand jeans, and we thought we were going to really make some money off these. Oh, we did. We made some good money, just not. It wasn't outrageous or anything. But anyway, we got these puppies. Yeah, back in March, sold them on an offer. So I took some percentage off. It was $41.39. Transaction fees $5.91. Shipping label $7.67. Because again, New York. So $27.81 is what we walked away with. We only paid $5 for them. So great. I'll do that all day long. Please buy more of those. And then last but not least, probably my greatest Facebook Marketplace find ever was this lady, and I told you about. I went up and saw her 3 weekends in a row, about an hour each way. And I've had a lot of really good fortune with selling things that I purchased from her on Facebook Marketplace. But what this is and I have one more pair of these knee-high Converse Chuck Taylor shoes. But these are the all black ones. And this was another one where they were like, can you ship it right away so I get it in time? And it did get there in time. But I bought those back in August for $15. Still new in the box. So in early August, and then so about 4 months later, sold this pair. I've got one more pair left. And then I got 2 other pairs of Converse that she had, and I've got another pair of Converse that we probably overpaid for. But paid $15 for these and ended up selling them. Let me take a look here, because these went for good money, I know. Let's see. Ended up selling these puppies for $127.49 on an offer. I think they're $140 or $139.99. I sold them for $127.49 on offer. Take out the $18.17 for transaction fees, $4.20 from ad fee, $10.94 for shipping because it did go to California. So we walked away with $94.18, and we only paid $15 for them. So we made about $80 on these shoes. We've made a lot off those shoes. Realistically, the first time I sold a pair of those shoes, that sold for about almost $300. That paid for everything I ever bought from that person. So it's all just gravy now as far as those items go. But again, just things you got to keep your eyes open for on Facebook Marketplace if you want to source there. And then the Alaska item, I do want to just talk about that one real quick because it costs a lot to ship. But again, it's okay, because I was thinking about this person when I sold this to him, and I'm like, dude, they're probably freezing. But we bought this Cabela's Dry Plus hunting coat. So it's a camouflage hunting coat that's, supposedly almost like dry fit or keep you dry kind of thing. We purchased this thing back in March also. So we must have got the same place where we got the jeans. But we paid $13.69 for this item. It ended up selling for $59.99. And then it was free shipping, so I had to cover that. But transaction fees were $8.25. And then when I got hit with the shipping, I was like, oh no, because it was going to Ninilchik, Alaska. That's okay. Again, I'm sure the person that's wearing it right now is very happy. But shipping was $19.20 on it. So $32.54 is what we walked away with. We paid $13.69. So we made less than $20 on it. But again, I'm glad it's out of here because it's pretty big, taking up a lot of space. And I'm also just glad we sold it, It's good to sell some of these old things because you're just like, oh, God, get them out of here. Yeah, they've been around such a long time. You're looking to get rid of them. So, yeah, anyway, there's that. That's kind of what sold since I talked to you guys last. I'll try and remember to put all these pictures of what I talked about. I may just have to go through and everything that I sold from the last time I talked to you guys to now and put pictures of all that in there. So some things in there you might be like, what? You didn't talk about this. But, yeah, anyway. yeah, so things are going really good, guys, and it's been, like I say, it's slowed down considerably. I knew it would because I was here last year when this happened, um, and that's just kind of par for the course right now. And it'll come back around. I'm looking forward to sourcing this summer. My wife and I are going to do some exciting things. We're talking about just heading out for some 3 or 4 day weekends a couple times this summer, maybe once a month or maybe every two weeks doing that. And just hitting some really small Midwestern towns and getting into their thrift stores and getting into their garage sales. And probably going to get really good deals on things and probably find some really good stuff that's going to sell quickly for a big profit. So that's what we're going to try and do this summer. That's kind of a goal of ours. We have the big family trip coming up in May. We're heading out on a cruise, and we're looking forward to that to celebrate my daughter's graduation and her biliteracy seal that she's getting. So she'll be a Spanish-speaking nurse. Should always be able to find a job, kiddo. Anyway, that's all I got, guys. I appreciate you listening. If you're going through that kind of slump right now, I'm sure if you've been doing this a while, you already know that that's just kind of how it goes. It's just, this is what happens this time of the year, after Christmas, into the early new year. Really up until March is when things start picking up again. And I want to say April last year was our biggest month, so I'm hoping that takes place again. We have one more of those bunny little play tea sets, and I'd love to be able to sell that thing and get it to someone so they can have it for Easter, but we'll see. But yeah, I've let the inventory go down pretty much on eBay. We're down to like 436 items now. 436 items. We were up over 520, I think. So we've sold a lot of things, almost 100 things really since November. And so that's pretty good, man. I can't complain about that. November to December, December to January. That's about 40 things a month. That's pretty good. More than one per day. I'm looking for it right now. I'd love to do 2 or 3 things per day. But to be honest with you, I would really have a tough time making the time to do it. So still sitting at 100% positive feedback. Over the last month, there's been 37 positive feedbacks. Of all time, there's been 306, and I'm sitting at 100%. So can't complain. Things are going really well. The store is very healthy. Things are moving along perfectly. And we're just continuing the original plan, which is to, try and make a certain amount of money, try and get average more than one sale per day. And even in the last 90 days, including January, we've still had almost $4,000 in sales. Just in the last month, we've had, about $1,200. So, take 60% of that. That's just free cash, basically, is how I look at it. Because we're averaging about 60 bucks. I'm sorry. I don't know what I was talking about there. Oh, my God. Oh, my brain. I was trying to talk about what my average item is, the average sale. Average sales price. Yeah, I was right. Average sales price per item is $57.71. And if you go over the last month, we've only sold 21 items, but when you average almost 60 bucks per item, you're going to make some money. And then you take 60% of that, and that's what you walk away with. Not bad. I mean, that's pretty solid. We have had a few stinkers, but things are still going really well. And, video games and consoles still my number one seller. Clothing, shoes, and accessories are next. Men's, of course. Women's stuff just doesn't seem to sell quite as well. It sucks. Consumer electronics would be third. And then women's athletic shoes would be fourth. And then toys and hobbies. So, that's all the Hot Wheels stuff that's sold recently. Yeah. I mean, again, on January 1st, dude, it was a big day. We made a lot of money that day. So it was pretty cool. But I'll let you guys go. I appreciate you guys listening. Keep on doing that. There is a new episode, by the way, of the Dad Snark podcast. If you want to listen to that, I will link it in the notes. And we'll have a new one of these Hawk Picks in 2 weeks, and there'll be a new Dad Snark podcast next week. So keep your ears open, keep your eyes open. Get on out there, guys, and happy selling. Later.